Hello students, in this lecture video I'll be covering the main concepts of chapter 7, that is physiology and injury in sports. Now physiology refers to the different biochemical reactions which are happening in the body. So sports physiology means what are the short-term effects of training of the body of the athletes. Now there are different factors which will determine different things. One is determining the strength. Size of the muscle is very important. It largely depends on the basically the gender. If it is a male, there will be larger and bigger muscles, so the strength will be more as comparison to the females. Next is body weight. Again, the heavy weight lifters, they will lift heavier weights than the one which the body weight is less. So again, for the weight lifting, the body weight is taken into consideration to determine the strength. Coming to muscle composition, there are two types of fibers of muscles. White fibers, which are called as fast twitch fibers because their contraction is faster. Slow twitch fibers are the red fibers. Why slow twitch? Because there is the slow contraction. So the percentage of these fibers will determine the strength. Obviously, having more white fibers means more strength. Next is intensity of nerve impulse. Whatever our nervous system is getting the signals, it is converted into an impulse. So the intensity will determine the strength. Next, physiological factors that determine the speed. Now, mobility of the nervous system. Our muscles, they contract and relax at the maximum possible speed. Now, this rapid contraction and relaxation is due to the motor centers. Motor centers means which are involved in the movement through the nervous system. Again, if mobility is more, means the speed of any athlete will be more. Again, coming to muscle composition, the fast twitch fibers, they will contract more with the more speed as compared to the uh, red fibers. Next is explosive strength. Explosive strength helps to build the different speed capacities of an athlete. So it depends on the muscle composition again, the muscle size and how it coordinates. So if it is more coordination, more explosive strength leading to more speed. Next is flexibility. If more flexibility is there, then without much internal resistance, a body can proceed. So again, the speed will be more. Next is the biochemical reserves and metabolic power. Mainly ATP, that is our energy molecule made up of sugar, adenosine triphosphate, and CP, that is creatine phosphate, which is stored in the muscles, which are enough for giving it energy. Next, physiological factors that determine endurance means that to what time period a particular activity can be performed. That mainly depends on aerobic capacity. That is the energy which is required by the body muscles is being adequate or not. That depends on oxygen intake. That is higher volume of oxygen means what amount can be taken up by the body. Then oxygen transport is there through hemoglobin. Through training, the oxygen transport capacity can be enhanced. Then oxygen uptake, taking up of oxygen and absorbing and consuming for the working of muscles. Again, energy reserves, like we talked about ATP or glycogen molecule, availability of that also will help in determining that at what level the endurance will be. Next important is lactic acid tolerance. So if a person is tolerating higher concentration of lactic acid, it is better for endurance. Why? Because the lactic acid is produced after heavy exercise. So if the body is tolerant, then the endurance or the extension time period for a particular activity will be more. Then movement economy means how much your body can save the energy for endurance. Then again, muscle composition comes into play. That is, the fast twitch fibers have to be more in number. Next, physiological factors that determine flexibility. Coming to the muscle strength, again, here the coming main thing would be the weak or strength of the abdominal muscles. Then joint structure, how the ball and socket joint, which is in the shoulder, how you can say the motion is there as compared to other joints. So that structure has to be flexible. Next is age and gender. Gender, as we saw, it affects because of muscle size, and with age also flexibility decreases, so that is another factor. Stretchability of muscles. Again, when the movement of joint is there, how much your muscles can stretch will determine the flexibility of the body. Then internal environment also, like 10 minutes in a warm bath increases body temperature flexibility, while 10 minutes staying outside in 10 degree reduces body temperature and flexibility. So what is your internal temperature? How you maintain it? That is why we say warm up is very much necessary. Then previous injury, if somebody is having injuries in a particular fibrous tissue or connective tissue, then again flexibility will be affected. Now, what can be the effects of exercises on our cardio, that is heart, and respiratory system, that is the lungs? Firstly, increase in the size of heart, that will increase strength. Decrease in resting heart rate means how much time we need to recover after any exercise, that will decrease. Stroke volume increases at rest. Stroke volume is the amount of blood that can be pumped. That will increase the total output, that is cardiac output in the body. Again, it will help in increased blood flow, which will again help to reduce, you can say, the recovery time. Then it will decrease the blood pressure. It will maintain it to a proper level. It will increase the blood volume, which will enhance the capacity of anybody to do the heavy exercise. Again, coming to recovery rate will be faster. Increase in tidal air capacity. What is tidal air capacity? It is the total amount of air which you are taking in and total which is moving out. Then it will decrease the rate of respiration, means initially the breathing can be faster at a small time, but later on after a heavy exercise only breathing rate will be fast. Then unused alveoli become active. Alveoli are in the lungs which help in exchange of gases. So that will become active. Increase in endurance means for a longer period of time you can continue with exercise. Increase in residual air volume means whatever air is left behind after breathing out, that will be increased. Then the lung efficiency also, to remove the excess waste, that will increase. And total vital air capacity, that is total amount of oxygen which you can breathe in and total you can release, will be increased. And the VO2 max, that is maximum oxygen uptake, will be increased. Now, what can be the effect of exercise on muscular system? It will change the shape and size of muscle, the strength will increase, more blood capillaries will be formed. Again, the breathing rate will be, or recovery rate will be faster. Muscle remains in tone position because we need muscles to be very firm. It controls the extra fat which will not be then deposited in the body. Change in the connective tissue. Now the connective tissue will become more powerful, which is very important for the sustenance of any type of exercise. Efficiency of the muscles would increase and it will delay any type of fatigue. It will increase the storage of food, your reserve food material. Other health benefits will be there, and whatever in your body is non-functional, that will become active slowly. The body posture, it will remain correct by doing regular exercise, and it will improve the reaction time, which is very much required during any type of sport. This 7.4 topic is deleted, so we will not do in the revised syllabus. Next, coming to the last part, that is sports injuries. There are a variety of injuries that can occur during sports. It can be soft tissue injury, bone injury, or joint injury. Let us first discuss the soft tissue injuries. Like contusion, it is a muscle injury. Now, direct hit can cause this type of muscle injury. How you can prevent it? Mostly the points of prevention will remain the same. So let me discuss it for contusion. Proper warm-up is essential. Proper stretching is essential. Otherwise, these soft tissues can break down. Then conditioning should be emphasized during the training, conditioning of the muscles. Then protective equipment is very essential. The equipment should be of very good quality. The courts should be smooth and clean. And complete scientific knowledge of any sport should be there. The players should always be alert for during practice, that in competition they have to perform well, so to avoid such injuries. And good officiating quality of official, so that the referee is performing or the official is performing all the his responsibilities correctly to avoid any injury. For example, somebody is doing foul play, so you can say the foul play can be regarded as a penalty in a game. Next is strain. It may be mild or severe, maybe in the muscle some rupturing is there. Again, prevention are the similar points. Sprain is the ligament injury which connects your bones to the muscles. Again, prevention mostly same. Difference is the players should be careful. The rules should be followed and they should try to avoid falling and wear the protective equipment. Next, abrasion. It is due to the friction of over an area like in during kabaddi or athletics. So it's a major injury. Again, the prevention remains the same. Only additional point is that one should try to cover the exposing surface with a layer of clothing. Next is bruises, which can occur small bruises in football or hockey. Again, points remain the same. Only difference is players should not be rash and they should not continue to play during fatigue. Next, coming to bone injuries, it can be simple fracture in which the bone is broken at one place. Compound fracture means skin and muscles both are damaged along with the fracture. Complicated fracture can be in the internal organs also, like in high jump and all. Green stick fracture generally seen in children where there is any stress in the bone. Comminuted fracture where 3 or more pieces it is broken down, the bone is broken down. Impacted fracture is when end of the bone enters into another bone. Sometimes it enters like this. Okay, it is entering into the another bone. So that is impacted fracture. Causes can be when high impact movements are there and sudden fall is there, or osteoporosis, that is loss of calcium from the bones. Again, prevention remains the same as in the soft tissue injuries. Next, coming to joint injuries. Now, dislocation of joints can be there, especially during football and hockey. Dislocation of lower jaw if the person falls through the chin, through the shoulder joint, hip joint, or dislocation of the wrist. Again, the prevention remains the same. Now, what are the main causes of sports injuries? Improper conditioning, not proper conditioning during the training period, warming up is not taken care of, the training is not taken care of in scientific way, or an athlete is physically not fit, nutritionally not adequate nutritions are taken, or sports facilities are not proper, or the officiating, you can say the official is not performing the duty properly. Protective equipment is not available. Practicing even during the fatigue, that will also cause injuries. Pressure of competition and excessive force can also cause this. Again, during game, you have to be very careful. If the injury is reoccurring, again, that will be problematic. So, improper sports equipment should not be there. It should be according to the size and fit of the individual. And one should not overuse muscles. Now, how you can prevent sports injury? Again, the same points. I'll just repeat the main things: proper warming up, proper conditioning, intake of balanced diet, proper knowledge of sports skills, proper protective equipment, sports facilities, the area which you are using as a field should be proper, unbiased officiating, that if somebody is in penalty, that should be given penalty without bias, and don't do overtraining. Otherwise, in the competition, the person will not be able to perform. Use of proper techniques, obeying all the rules, and also cooling down. While warming up, also cooling down. Now, to prevent sports injuries, again, for prevention, the same points like we did in the bone tissue injury. Next, how do we treat injuries? Treatment of soft tissue injury, like we discussed in case of abrasion, we will clean the affected area, we will put a sterile bandage and medical ointment. For contusions, generally cold compression with ice pack it is done, and anti-inflammatory medicine is put. In case more inflammation is there, then we need doctor's help. Next, in case of laceration like this, irregular cut is there. First of all, bleeding needs to be controlled. Then it should be cleaned up with warm water and mild soap, and then antiseptic ointment. If not, it is taken care of, then proper support of a doctor should be taken care of. Next, for incision, suppose through some sports equipment a cut is there. Again, wound should be cleared and it should be sprayed with iodine or some antibiotic should be applied. Sprain, sometimes tearing of ligament can happen. So how the sprains can be treated? There are different procedures. Coming to first, PRICE. It stands for protection, rest, ice, compression and elevation. So firstly, protecting that particular area, giving rest, putting ice and compressing that region to reduce swelling, and later on elevating that particular region. Another procedure is MICE, means mobilization, ice, compression, and elevation. So before protection, mobilization means that part should be able to move. So movement, gradual movements are done, and then the same steps. Next, for strain, again, the similar procedure, price, which we have discussed just now, can be used. Now, treatment of bone and joint injuries, if dislocation of joints is there, how you will treat? Medical help is needed over here, and affected joint needs to be fixed properly. In case of fractures, if it is a stress fracture, means crack in a bone, firstly, we will elevate that region, apply ice, and give painkiller to the person who is injured. In case of green stick fracture, we are again going to immobilize that particular area and we will put anti-inflammatory drugs. For comminuted fractures, again, we will immobilize and then we will give antibiotics. Transverse fracture, if it is there, like break of bone is there, then medication, and to avoid pain and stiffness, proper rest should be given to the injured person. If oblique or diagonally the bone is cut, then plaster cast have to be put. For impacted fracture, when one fractured bone enters into the other bone, then a splint or a sling a doctor will suggest and minimize the movement that would be suggested. Lastly, coming to first aid. What is first aid? The first aid that has to be given when anyone is injured. That is very important. So it is immediate temporary care. What are the aims and objectives? To preserve life, because on the point sometimes the life can be saved. To elevate the pain and suffering of the individual at the point so that the pain doesn't go to unbearable levels. To prevent the condition from worsening by giving the first aid so that before we reach the doctor, the person already is feeling better. This will also promote recovery. And to procure early medical care, the objective is that in some situations, if medical assistance is needed, firstly, the first aid should be given and then we should call the medical help.